winner tonight moves on to Nationals in Toronto next month, so it means a lot. I'm Peter Brady, I'm a local organizer here for the Red House, and the former painter in the competition got addicted to it, and they're like, you can't paint every month, Peter. So now I do this instead, because I'm addicted to it, I love it, I'm sure you will too. How many people have been here before? Alright, so everybody that is their first art battle, can I see you raise a hand? Wow, amazing. Thank you so much for coming tonight. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. We have DJ Little Fever spinning tonight. Very, very happy to have you here, brother. So he's going to be laying down the tracks, helping you move those feet all night long. Because we do something we like to call the slow tornado, or what I like to call the world's friendliest mosh pit, where basically everybody's going to walk around in circles, all of them in the same direction, so that everybody gets a chance to see what each artist is doing. So now, I understand it's going to get warm in here, it's going to get a little hectic, so if you don't want to feel like you're in a prison workout yard, you know, and you don't want to walk around in circles all the time, just please move back to the back of the room so that people can continue to move around. We have a few choke points here, and we want to just make sure that everybody gets a chance to see the artist process and have a good time. So let's try to keep it lovely and light and have a good time. Can we do that, Ottawa? All right, so as we all know, the nation's capital isn't exactly the biggest city in Canada, but we do have a reputation of being the loudest. So when I ask you to make some noise, you're gonna make some noise. Right, Ottawa? Yeah! So tonight we are live streaming, calling our live streamer here. He's going around with the camera, so please keep an eye out for the lad and let him through so that we can let the folks at home enjoy this evening as well. Now, when you came in, you should have registered your phone number. If you haven't, please do. That is how you're going to vote tonight. That is how you're going to bid tonight. And I really believe, truly hope that we have a sellout show tonight. This is actually one of our biggest crowds yet ever in the capital region. So let's make this a sellout night. Give these amazing works of art a loving home. And yeah, keep those bids coming in. I know the artists would appreciate it. And all the money that we make on our end, the 50-50 split, goes towards, you know, adding to the production value of what we do. So yeah, I thank you in advance for your support. If you have any problems, just see the lovely ladies at the front door. They will certainly be happy to help you. I should tell you about the rules real quick. So the artists have 20 minutes to create an original piece of art in their signature style. They can do whatever the heck they want. The limit is in the time, so the pressure is on. I think we're ready to introduce your artists. Are you ready, Ottawa? All right, so on easel number 1, Candice Wei. On easel number 2, Dominic Chenier. On easel number 3, Simone. On easel number 4, Suzannah Robertson. On easel number 5, Alexander Barker. and certainly not least on easel number 6, Kina Forney! All right, so we got 20 minutes on the clock. All the artists are ready. Are you ready, Ottawa? All right, I'm gonna need your help. We're gonna do a little countdown from 10. And when we get down to 0, we're all gonna yell out, "Let's paint." We can do that, yeah? Yeah. All right. From 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's paint!
All right, hello everyone and welcome to the Ottawa City Championship. We have 12 incredible artists in the lineup tonight, all all-stars or winners from this past season, and they will be competing tonight to see who will be taking the spot at National Championship to represent Ottawa. So these guys have been working all season to get to this point, and tonight is going to be an absolute showdown. Here we are at easel number 1 with Candice Wei, who has now moved her canvas down to the floor. Over now with Dominic Chenier, who does some really, really cool work that's often very emotional. And I've always been really interested in his brushwork and his specific techniques. Looks like he's got something going right away. I think I see a hand holding something right now. We shall see, we shall see. Moving over to Julia Rose Simone, who is actually one of our winners from Pembroke, Ontario. And Julia is a 19-year-old artist who is studying at OCAD, and she's been creating works that are really, really cool, very intense this season with Art Battle. We can already see that she's off to a great start with this portrait here. She looks like she's got her proportions mapped out, and we're getting some black paint on there. Really already getting kind of this sense of intensity from this portrait, and we're not even 2 minutes in. So I have high expectations and hopes for this piece from Julia Rose. Now we are with Suzannah Robertson, and Suzannah has been painting with Art Battle for quite some time, and I'm a huge Suzannah Robertson fan. She has this absolutely incredible ability with color, and her work often just expresses such an incredible joyfulness, and it's just so refreshing and wonderful to see up the easel. We can already see that she's got some blue down on the canvas and has kind of roughed out some circular texture there, I think with a paper towel. And now we're seeing her going in with some black marks here. Not sure where this piece is going to go yet, but it's Suzannah, so of course it's going to be awesome. Here we are with Alexander Barker, and Alexander also has been painting with Art Battle for quite a long time. I myself have had the opportunity to see him painting in person in Ottawa quite a few times, and he is a phenomenal painter who really has an incredible ability to blend impressionism and realism. So he's very much coming from a realistic place, but his execution really embraces brushwork and careful blending, and we get quite a painterly approach from Alexander.
Could I ask everybody to switch?
I believe that he right now is working on what I think is going to be a little panda bear. So very stoked for that. One of my favorite animals.
Numbered the paintings the wrong way, so for the live stream, it works better if we're all going the same way.
Here we are with Kina Forney, and Kina, also a longtime Art Battle artist, and Kina's work is just always so undeniably vibrant, and Kina is that way herself, also a really vibrant person, and really she puts so much of herself into the work as well. So it's always really wonderful to see Kina up at the easel and to see what kind of energy she's bringing to her compositions, and just she's always got something fresh. Here we are seeing that she's working on a landscape, and Kina also has a high level of versatility too. So we've seen her paint landscapes, we've seen her paint animals, we've seen her do lots of different types of work. And we're definitely seeing her working into that landscape, and I think we're going to get some really good clouds from that piece as well. Back over with Candice at easel number 1, and Candice is sticking true to her signature style, which often features some strong brushwork and abstraction in the background, and then a central focus of illustration layered on top. I'm really enjoying the tripping of the blue here. So these artists have just 20 minutes on the clock for the first 2 qualifying rounds to go from blank canvas to incredible masterpiece right in front of our eyes. In our final round tonight, I believe we will have 30 minutes on the clock, and the top 2 artists, as voted by you, the audience, will move forward. The top 2 from this round and the top 2 from our next qualifying round will all join together in a third and final round with 30 minutes on the clock. So one singular winner of that will move on to represent Ottawa in the Canadian National Championships taking place on July 27th in Toronto. Back with Dominic, and I think that this is a musician, like so much incredible energy just radiating from this piece already. He has such a great ability to translate energy and movement through his brushwork. Like, his brushwork is really loose and there's just so much contained in it. It's difficult for me to put into words, but I'm sure that you know what I mean as you're staring at this piece, because it is just vibrating with energy. Over with Julia Rose, and the intensity of this portrait continues to take shape, getting into almost what looks like a little bit of some cubist elements here with the darker line work and exaggerated features like the nose and that black line work kind of splitting the nose up the forehead. Looks like she's definitely taking a turn into some more surreal energy. Getting into some highlights on the forehead. Moving over to Suzannah now. And we can now see that the circular shapes that she had initially kind of buffed out with that paper towel to create texture, she used that as a map to map out all of these glorious flowers. And it looks like she's doing quite a few different colors of flowers as well. We've got some peach and some yellow, some oranges, some cream, and the foliage, the leaves for these flowers right now are reading very black. I think she's actually used black paint for that. So I'm wondering whether or not she's going to layer a color over top of that, maybe bring a green in there and just kind of warm it up a little bit. But the organic quality of the flowers is definitely coming through. And we're seeing her using this squared off brush, which is allowing for a lot of squared off brush strokes and really clean angles that she's definitely using to her advantage to execute those petals. Back over with Alexander, and you can see that the panda is basically executed. Like, good job, Alexander. The major components are all laid out for this panda. I really like that he's chosen this purple color. I wonder whether or not he will layer darker colors over top of that, whether or not this is functioning as the painting itself, or if that's communicating more of an underpainting. And time will tell. We're only halfway through, guys. We're not even halfway through. And already all of these artists have created something that is just super, super impressive. Here we are with Kina, and Kina is, I think that
Nice,
this
yeah.
landscape
Side.
is very much going to be turning into a really incredible cloudscape. And we can see that these peachy colors here are really blending with the gorgeous yellow that she's laid down. And Kina has just this really cool technique of color layering.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think that.
Here we are back with Candice, and Candice is working on this mushroom here, definitely really blending her painterly approach with the abstract background with definitely some more illustrative quality, and that's something that is so close to her studio work, and she's just really rocking it and bringing that to the easel. Back over with Dominic and this incredible explosion of energy as he renders this musician here. And now we're starting to get into these cooler tones that he's adding into the composition. Up until this point, it's been very warm with all of this yellow and the red in the background. And he's just using this blue to kind of set everything off. And right now we're actually seeing him going back in with red to continue to keep that color contrast, just getting those little hits of accent color. Back with Julia Rose, and I'm definitely getting like a Queen of Hearts vibe here. Very, very surreal. There's this penetrating gaze that is coming from the portrait, and it's just so wonderful.
There's 8 minutes remaining. Round number 1. How you doing, Ottawa?
We can see that she's also really getting into the texture here, doing a lot of paint layering. You can see that it almost looks like at one point that she's run her fingers through some of the paint to kind of create those ridges that are coming off of the face of the picture's crown, the portrait's crown. Back over with Suzannah, and we are past our halfway point. We have 7.5 minutes remaining on the clock in our first round of the Art Battle Ottawa City Championship. Voting is now open. Head to artbattle.com/AB2563. Oh, I'm so satisfied watching Suzannah bringing in these green strokes over top of the black that she had laid out for the leaves. Just bringing so much dimension there. Alex Barker just really going in with the fan brush and giving us that fur texture. It's such a smart technique. Fan brush is one of my favorites, and it's such a quick way to execute fur, and he's definitely using that to his advantage. Alexander is a really well-versed artist, and so he knows his tools super, super well. And so we saw him lay down that initial texture with the fan brush, and now he's adding in just these little wisps of highlights, and it's so realistic. I love the way that he's doing this. He's also being really sure of his light source and only placing these highlights where the sun would naturally hit. Back over with Kina Forney, and Kina, oh my goodness, the majesty of this cloudscape is just beyond. There's so much saturation here, and I am especially enchanted by the way that the red is coming through, where she's layered over this kind of purpley color, and it really communicates well the way that the sun would be lighting up these clouds, and that there are moments that are a little bit more transparent than others. And so she just is representing the light here so wonderfully. 5.5 minutes left on the clock. We're seeing these artists getting into their final details. I often say that the final quarter of the round can be the most difficult because you really are in a rush to finish your piece, and oftentimes artists can make really quick decisions, or they're working even faster than they have up until this point in the round. And so it's easy to kind of get into dangerous waters. But we are here with super championship artists who are very experienced in our battle, and everyone is looking pretty calm, cool, and collected. Candice doing a fantastic job with all of this super inky black line work here. We're also seeing her using a paint marker to create some emphasis and highlights as well. Our last quarter really is like highlight time. That's when the artists really love to apply those pops of highlight. Oh, excellent. Loving this from Dominic. I was wondering how he was going to be treating the background, whether or not he was going to be leaving that as mostly negative space. And we can see that he's adding in this yellow color, but also really using texture and brushwork to his advantage by laying down these thick strokes that are containing multiple colors, and then pulling over it with a dry brush and just kind of blending that out and melting it. So we're getting this really interesting technique of brushwork that is blended and transparent in some areas and aggressive and super painterly in others. So really cool technique from Dominic. I'm sure that this finishing move is going to be very exciting for the audience. Back over with Julia Rose here. And we're definitely getting a narrative quality from Julia's piece. Lots going on here. You can see these kind of tendrils of smoke coming out one side of the face, really creating some compositional interest there as well, because at this point we're quite symmetrical, but adding in those points of emphasis only on one side is definitely driving some interest. Back with Suzannah, and Suzannah, amazing. Like, how is this a 20-minute painting? Sometimes artists just really knock it out of the park, and Suzannah has done just that here, and really is just creating such a sense of joyfulness with these flowers, and then the addition of these drawing elements with pastel is bringing a little bit of a sense of the childlike wonder, and I'm just so stoked on it. Back with Alexander Barker, and we are into our final 2 minutes. And check out the eyes on that panda. So much life. Just amazing. Like how he's able to express the life and intelligence and cuteness of this animal all at once. And mostly through some very carefully placed highlights in that eye. He knows exactly where to place a stroke. Great job, Alexander. Back with Alexander Barker. Just fluffing in those last little hits. Kina, in our last minute, has now added, I believe this is a sailboat sail, in the water here to kind of give us a central focus outside of these clouds, give us something that's a little bit more in the foreground, really helping to establish the depth of the piece. And finishing our round at Candice's easel. Oh my goodness, I'm really loving the white drips. I totally expected the inky black drips, but the white is totally new for me, and very, very cool technique. Great point of contact.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Brushes down! There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Round number 1 of your regional championships. Everybody should have received a message now stating that voting and bidding is now open. So yeah, get those votes in as quickly as possible. And yeah, and we'll get ready for round number 2. We'll be right back.
An absolutely fantastic first round for the Ottawa City Championship. All of these artists should be super proud. Our first 6 artists with an excellent showing. But now comes the hard part. You, the audience, need to vote for which artist you think is best. So head over to artbattle.com/AB2563 and cast your vote for your favorite artist. The top 2 artists, as voted by the audience, from this round will move forward into the final and join the top 2 from our next round. Round number 2 coming up in just a few short minutes. We will have another 6 champion artists stepping up to the easels again to vie for the spot of who will represent Ottawa in the National Championship in Toronto on July 27th. So stay tuned. Round number 2 coming up in just a few minutes. And also, if you are falling in love with any of these pieces that you're seeing being created right now, you can also bid on them at our silent auction at artbattle.com/AB2563. We will ship them to you. You don't need to be in the room to bid. So it's a great time to collect. I know that I especially am absolutely loving this piece by Kina. And round number 2 coming up in just a few minutes.
What did you think of round number 1, Ottawa? Pretty fierce indeed. I'm actually, hey Holly, would you mind coming up here for a moment? Everybody, this is Holly from Overflow. Can we get a big round of applause for her? Holly does the bookings here, so if ever you want to put on an event, she's the person to talk to. Freaking amazing. When you draw a name from our wild cards, so the winner of this wild card draw will be painting in the second round for a chance to maybe represent Ottawa at the Nationals. In round number 1, Dominic Chenier was actually a wild card winner who went on and won the night, so you never know. Aiden, do we have an Aiden? A-I-D-E-N. All right, Aiden, congratulations. All right. We're gonna get you set up. If you wanna go into the paint room over there, and one of our paint captains will be with you momentarily. Thank you so much. All right, we're gonna get reset and we'll be right back for round number 2. Thank you.
How you doing?
go. So, your artist for round number 2. On easel number 1, Erin Besseau. On easel number 2, Sarah O'Neill. On easel number 3, Eric Trottier. On easel number 4, our all-star painter, Sawsan. On easel number 5, another all-star painter, Nicholson. No, I didn't write down your name and I forgot it again. I got it. On easel number 6, tonight's wild card artist, Aiden. Stay in school, kids. Stay in school, honestly. All right, we got 20 minutes on the clock. Here we go, Ottawa. Round 10, 9,
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
let's paint! All right, let's try to get that slow tornado going once again. Please be kind, please be loving. We'll get through this together, Ottawa.
All right, we officially have 20 minutes on the clock to go from blank canvas to incredible masterpiece right in front of your eyes. All 6 of these artists are champion level artists who have won art battle before or are maintaining all-star status, which means that they frequent the final round. And I, for one, am just so excited. I'm quite familiar with the Art Battle Ottawa crowd and the artists there, so I absolutely cannot wait to see what goes down tonight in round number 2. Sarah O'Neill, one of my favorite artists from Ottawa, looks like she is doing a portrait featuring a hand, so definitely a little bit intense there. Hands are very difficult to execute. Here we are with Eric Trottier, who creates these really, really cool pop art style pieces. He often is layering black and white imagery on top of super crazy color fields. So it's interesting to see his approach. I'm not sure that I've seen him paint before. I don't think I have. And so getting to see his approach of laying down his drawing first and then potentially going into the color, I was not expecting that. Here we are with Sawsan, who creates these really incredible nature-inspired pieces. It looks like Sawsan is doing a still life featuring some florals here. And going down onto the canvas with this gorgeous, super luxurious ultramarine blue. I think I'm seeing some violet on there as well. And Rob Nicholson, another favorite of mine from the Art Battle Ottawa artist sphere. I have known Rob for quite some time and was even lucky enough that he drew a picture of me once upon a time when he was doing Art Battle staff portraits. So that was super, super cool. And big Rob fan. I've seen him paint many times in Ottawa. I've seen him paint a few times in Toronto as well. He actually won a Toronto event, which is really intense and quite the achievement for an out-of-town artist. He had no hometown advantage and won a Toronto event, so pretty cool. Here we are with our wildcard artist, Aiden Wren, and Aiden has just emerged from the crowd. The wild card, for anyone who doesn't know it, is when we leave one easel open in the competition and we pull one person's name out of a hat that decided to sign up for the chance to paint. And so Aiden has been the lucky person who got pulled and immediately had to go up to the easel and begin painting. Here we are with Erin Besseau, and I've had the chance to watch Erin paint a few times on the live stream, and definitely a fan. She does these works that are leaning a little bit into minimalism, like she doesn't overpaint and keeps her subjects fairly simple, but I mean that in the best way. Like there's a purity to the way that she paints and a simplicity to her compositions that are just, it's so clean, and I really admire that as an artist myself. Back over with Sarah, and looks like this figure is experiencing some anguish here. We're seeing the figure's hands laid on their face. We have a mouth that is open wide. We've got some darker colors going on right now. Definitely feeling some intense energy there. Back over with Eric Trottier, and Eric has now gone into the pop colors, the more vibrant colors of his compositions. We have this really wonderful, vibrant teal being layered over top of this very warm purple color, and he's definitely emphasizing that color contrast against the black and white and monochrome portrait that he had started in only 5 minutes. So very, very quick work from Eric there. Back over with Sawsan, and Sawsan has just got a huge amount of coverage done onto the canvas, and there's a lot of really wonderful depth within all of these brushstrokes here. Not anything is one singular color. We've got a lot of subtle color layering in here, and some blended colors as well. And it's just creating this sense of richness within the composition already. Heading back over to Rob Nicholson. There's such an undeniable vibrancy to Rob's work, and we're definitely seeing that here today. Rob also really likes to play with pop culture, and we're seeing him creating this astronaut person right now, and also using this technique of really emphasizing dark line work over top of a really intense color field. Back over with Aiden, our wildcard artist, and some interesting stuff going on the canvas right now. I think that he also is painting a hand, which is pretty cool for a wildcard artist because hands are mega hard to paint. I always say that, but it is super, super true. You have so many digits to deal with. The hand is a very complex body part to manipulate and show the gestural quality. Back over with Erin Besseau, and I love the colors that Erin has chosen here. It's almost leaning into like a heat map, with the way that she has the concentration of red going into yellow, going into green, going into blue, and the emphasized way that she has kept these stripes of color. There's a small amount of blending, but it's not over blended, so she's still definitely keeping those colors somewhat compartmentalized.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've found a phone. This is your bedazzled, jeweled phone. Anybody? I'm gonna bring it to the bar, so you realize.
Back over with Sarah O'Neill, And oh my goodness, I'm such a Sarah stan. I really, really am. And she has just such a crazy ability to make these really intense, emotional, figurative paintings. And we are definitely seeing that already. 8 minutes in, and her piece is already literally screaming. Back with Eric here, and he's now adding in some white highlights into these colors. And so this is really cool. I had initially thought that these colors were just going to be total textural brushwork only, but he's now kind of added in some elements of this being hair by using these super thin, flowing white lines to kind of create emphasis within the piece. And very cool to see him also wrapping the body in these threads as well, creating some interaction between the two different elements of his painting. Back with Sawsan, and we are now getting into the execution of the florals themselves, the star of the show. And I like that Sawsan has also introduced some petals that are kind of strewn around the vase. It definitely is a really nice compositional element in bringing color to that part of the canvas. Back with Rob, and Rob is just digging it with the intensity here. He always goes so hard at the easel, and I love that Rob is not afraid to get messy. He's not overly precious with his work. He's really interested in creating a relationship between the process and the piece itself, and that's something that we can definitely see up at the easel here. Back over with Aiden, and I think that Aiden's piece is now starting to take on more portrait kind of hues, and we're also seeing him using this permanent marker here. This style of marker work is a little bit of a risky move when it comes to art battle, because you can gum up your marker if you're working on wet paint, but it looks like Aiden knows what he's doing, and he's waited for his background color to dry enough for him to be able to apply that marker. So it's coming off pretty clean.
The halfway point, 9 minutes remaining in round number 2.
We are now officially more than halfway through our second round in the Art Battle City Championship. One artist will emerge victorious tonight as the winner and will earn the right to represent Ottawa in the 2023 National Championships taking place in Toronto on July 27th. I'm just loving Erin's use of space here. It's a centralized concept and a centralized composition, but she has engaged the rest of the canvas via the extension of the legs off of the scarab here, and her work is just so clean and so well thought out, and I'm loving this piece. You can see that there's such a careful execution here. She's placed some really thoughtful highlights as well on the tips of the horns of the scarab, on the tips of the legs. We're getting a little bit of a shine on the body. Sarah here in our last 8 minutes, now starting to get into the hair. And this is where things I think are getting really, really intense with Sarah. Definitely some epicness going on with the introduction of this red hair. Really just playing with the color temperatures here as well. Up until this point, the entire composition has been very cool, with all of the blues and the purples, and even within the skin tone, the kind of peachy tone that she's used is quite muted and is definitely leaning more towards yellow. And then the introduction of that red is just like, bam! So I bet that the audience is really stoked on that. And it's funny watching Eric and Sarah painting together, because I'm sure that they're not aware of each other, what each other is painting, because they're just painting their own pieces and concentrated on that. But there's actually some similarities between Eric and Sarah's piece, and our camera person is definitely highlighting that right now for us. And we can see that there's this element of unruly hair that is being blown up in both pieces. So very interesting to see the interconnected relationships of the pieces at Art Battle that might not even, the artists themselves might not even know that those connections exist. But we, the viewers, get to make those observations. Back with Sawsan, and so lovely the depth that she is achieving with this piece. The addition of more petals. Back with Rob here, and I was wondering what Rob was going to be doing in the helmet, in that dark space that he had created as the visor or like a helmet screen for our astronaut here, and it looks like he's creating a galaxy within that. Super, super cool. So Rob always likes to kind of play with things conceptually, and we have all of this craziness and color and vibrancy happening, and then we've got this more calm galaxy that's happening within the space person's view, and we almost get like a painting within a painting. So very, very cool work here. Our wildcard Aiden has definitely taken to the compositional challenge of conquering a lot of that negative space that he had remaining on his canvas, and is now getting more into the features of this portrait here. Back with, or still with Aiden, and getting a little pop of that yellow highlight on the cheekbone here. And we can see that he's used that swipe of blue for the hair. Oh wow, totally did not anticipate that Erin was going to be bringing in black over top of this piece. Quite the challenge. She has all of this complex line work, and bringing that black right up to the edge of the piece has got to be somewhat challenging. Looks like she's handling it really well though, and with 4 minutes left on the clock, I think she can do it. I have faith in Erin, and this black has just completely emphasized the vibrancy of all of the colors that she had laid down, and definitely gives us more of an opportunity for depth within this piece. Back over with Sarah, and we are winding into our final 4 minutes here. We can see that Sarah has added some hits of little flecks of red in the background, and I think that that is like denoting that the hair is created out of flame, that we've got some sparks happening over on the sides. We're seeing her working on these hands as well, and my favorite thing to say, that hands are hard. She's doing 2 of them. Great work, Sarah. She's definitely got the execution down on those hands for sure. Back over with Eric, and we're seeing Eric adding in this pop of super fluorescent pink, and it's really doing a lot for the piece. And I'm just loving the way that he's weaving this thread all around the character. It's interesting to see where Eric has planned out quite meticulously elements of the piece, like the face and some of the threads, and where it gets more expressive and intuitive, like some of the more abstracted marks that are in the background. Back to Sawsan here, and she just looks so chill and confident, and I really respect the attitude that she's bringing up to the easel. And this piece is just absolutely gorgeous. We're getting such liveliness from the florals here, and I like that she's chosen a composition that has different colors within the flowers as well. Not all just one color. We have this shining yellow and red flower in the forefront, and then the the pink florals are taking a little bit more of a back seat, but just still doing a lot for the competition. Into our final 2 minutes here, checking in with Rob Nicholson, and he is just spattering the canvas with stars right now. One of my favorite techniques, and I like coming by and seeing Rob doing it so casually. He is definitely a pro. Oh, and we can see that we have a helper here as well. Someone from the crowd who is helping Rob with his spattering technique. Very, very cool. Love a little bit of audience engagement there. Back with Aiden, and Aiden has definitely gotten more into the features of this piece. Over with Erin, just stunning. And it looks like she's done as well. Like how is this piece this complex, and she basically is like, she could put her brush down right now. Like she's just doing tiny little details at this point. Very, very well managed in terms of time management throughout this round from Erin. She knew exactly how long every single step of painting this painting was going to take, and mad respect. I bet that she practiced this before coming to the finals.
All right, Ottawa, with your help from 10, 9,
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
brushes down. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, round number 2. Once again, everybody should have received a message stating that it's time to vote, it's time to bid. Bidding's going super well. So far, I believe we have bids on most pieces, so thank you for that. Please keep it going. Now, we do have a special announcement. If everybody would help me wishing Gabriella Luna a happy 9th birthday. Gabriella has been coming to our battle for maybe about 4 or 5 years now. She's been amazing. So please, can we all say happy birthday on 3? 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday!
Yeah! Thank you so much. All right, we'll be right back for round number 3. Get those votes in, get those bids in, grab another beer, and we'll be right back.
An absolutely epic second round for the Art Battle Ottawa City Championships. All right, so all 12 of our artists have painted in their qualifying rounds. So now is the super, super hard part where we have to choose who our favorite artists are and who we want to move forward into the final. You can vote for one artist per round, but the top 2 artists, as voted by the audience, from each qualifying round will move forward into a 4-artist final showdown. This time with 30 minutes on the clock. So the stakes are high, and the air is rife with energy and excitement. You can see the crowd, you can see people gasping and admiring all of the works, determining who they're going to vote for. Just really good art battle energy in Ottawa tonight, and these artists have just done their best and have really shone with their talent and creativity tonight. So make sure that you support them by voting for your favorite artist, and also if you would like to support them by collecting their work, all of the work created tonight is also available for silent auction at artbattle.com/AB2563. You don't need to be in the room to bid on these pieces or to collect them. We will ship them to you. Round number 3 and our finalist announcement coming up very
tonight, please. All right, so from round number one, moving on, easel number one, Alexander Barker. I guess you could say he was really pandering to the crowd tonight. Is that too soon? Is that a dad joke?
That's a dad joke.
I make those. Be aware. Be forewarned. Also moving on from round number one.
The stage is set. DJ's ready. I'm pretty ready. Are you ready, Ottawa? All right. From 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go! All right. So here we go one more time. Let's get that slow tornado going. Try to keep moving. Try to be kind. We're all gonna get through this together, Ottawa.
All right, we officially have 30 minutes on the clock for our final round of our battle in Ottawa, our Ottawa City Championship. The winning artist from this round will move forward to compete in the 2023 Canadian National Championship representing Ottawa, and that event is happening in Toronto on July 27th. So these guys will be painting in less than a month, or one artist from this round will be painting in less than a month at Nationals. So very, very exciting to have these artists up at easels and doing what they do best, all championship artists. These artists have all won events previously this season, so very exciting to have them back. They have earned their way here. Here we are with Sarah, and Sarah is creating what looks like a portrait kind of peeking out from water.
I forgot to mention, this being the third and the final round of our regional finals, we're going to spread.
We are with Rob Nicholson, and Rob, I think, is going to be treating us to potentially a landscape this time around, just based on the way that he's dividing the canvas. So really, really cool to see how artists start their initial competitions.
I also forgot to mention that tonight we have art battles in Ottawa.
Over with Alexander Barker.
Current national champion, Alan Andre.
And Alexander is laying down some tape, looks like. He's created some super cute lines there and is just dabbing on this blue color.
So you might want to get a hold of that.
No, I'm sure that we're going to get a very satisfying tape pull from Alexander a little bit later. One of my favorite things to witness in our battle is the clean line that is revealed in a nice tape pull. Super, super satisfying. Here we are with Kina, and Kina is doing the portrait, but from a very interesting perspective. This is a really cool pose. We've got, it's like the 3/4 from the back. So that's definitely got to be a challenge to paint. And if anybody could do it, it's going to be Kina. And she's starting off with laying down her initial groundwork in this blue color for the sketch. And now we're seeing her starting to bring some pink into the scene. And she's really using that, I think, as her mid-tone color. And you can see that she's also leaving some parts white, like around the eye and the nose. And I think that she's leaving that intentionally blank so that she can use that later as her highlight. Back with Sarah, and Sarah has done so much to establish her composition already. Really strong drawing in terms of the portrait, and then very interesting compositional elements with the major focus of the portrait being up in the top third of the canvas, and our second two-thirds of the bottom of the canvas are really taken up with all of these undulating lines here. So very interested to see how this piece plays out. It's very conceptual. Sarah has been really pushing herself lately as an artist, and she's definitely bringing that badass energy to the easel as well. And we are just being joined by our battle co-founder, Simon Flashkiz. Hey, Simon. I think he will chat with us in a minute. Back over with Rob, and Rob has created this kind of atmosphere. We've got all monotone at this point, but we're getting some really beautiful gradients, and looks like he's creating something in the foreground. Not quite sure what it's going to be yet, but Rob has quite the breadth of ability and versatility in his toolkit, so it really could be anything.
He's one of our longest running Art Battle Ottawa painters as well.
He is. I remember seeing him, I think, in season 1 of Art Battle Ottawa.
Yeah, and he's just the nicest guy too. If he wins, it'll be great to have him. Of course, any of these artists would be so welcome on the national stage at the in Toronto next month.
Absolutely, and everyone has just really brought it so far for the championship. We've definitely seen championship level paintings. Everyone's just been killing it.
Amazing. I love this palette. I wonder if we're going to get some dark low lights, some detail edge work added at the end of this, but I'm digging this blue yellow thing going on now.
Yeah, I agree with you. Getting that hit of contrast would be super tasty.
It's got to be in the coming. I'm sure we'll see, but it's got to be.
And here we are with Kina Forney, who we have seen many times at Art Battle, and she always brings just this incredible, colorful vibrancy. And I was just saying before you joined that this is a bit of a challenging pose for a portrait.
But at least it matches her shirt.
It totally matches her shirt. And I'm really digging the way that she's kind of carved out the jawline. I was wondering how she was going to communicate the turn of the head, and she's doing a really good job.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that. That's a really good highlight there. Interesting.
Yeah, super pro moves. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say it's good that she got that done early too, because then I'm sure she was thinking the same thing, like, "Oh, this is a challenge. I better lock it in," because now she has that space outlined, and whatever colors or sort of shading or lighting basically that's expressed in there is all good to go because that line of the neck and the jaws in.
And Sarah has done a really great job mapping out her piece. And I was pointing out the interesting compositional elements here with the main focus of what's going to be the portrait up at the top of the canvas, just taking up the top third.
And the whole like half underwater face, like there's this really poetic intensity to that. So interesting to see if there's any other elements to it, any other storytelling elements to that piece.
And here we are with Rob, and I had initially been trying to figure out what he was doing, but now I think that we're starting to see a figure emerging, or at least a sweater.
Is that a belly? What are we looking at here?
I think somebody's wearing a sweater, and I think that they're facing the edge of the canvas. And I don't think I've ever seen anybody paint a figure shirt first. So there's always a first.
You're talking about like there's no head here, but it's a head inbound.
Yeah, a head inbound.
Is that arms crossed? You're seeing that?
I think so.
I think I see a belly button. It's funny. Well, Rob, he's got 20 minutes to get it sorted. Lots of time.
Oh, we're definitely starting to get into that contrast layering with Alexander Barker. He really takes his time building his pieces, and I have so much respect for that.
It's a great piece already, and I definitely think, I wish we could see his palette. Did you see his palette in there at all? But it's going to be fun when the edge work comes in, and it's going to be dark edge work. It's really going to make this whole thing pop. So that's a big aspect of art battle, especially at this level, is you want the audience to have a sense of where you're going, because then they can come with you on the journey. You can't make it a surprise right till the end. And then if people are sort of like, I like that piece, it's pretty good, but then with some planned edge work, it really makes it pop at the end. Then people who are kind of on the fence are drawn in from a voting perspective.
Ooh,
Wow.
check out that orange.
Yeah, whoa. I knew you were going to love this one.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
all about it.
totally up Morgan's alley. Wow.
And so, one, the pose that she's chosen is difficult. But two, painting ears is very difficult. Ears are weird. Ears are so weird.
Yeah,
And
the ears and the nose, ears, nose, and mouth on this are bang on. Really cool. I wonder what she's going to do with the background. A lot of background options still to go there.
I would love to see stars. That's what I want. I want like full galaxy.
Great.
So moody here from Sarah. There's such an emotional intensity to the work that she's been creating lately, and she's really definitely bringing that to the live stage as well.
You know, this reminds me of some First Nations art where it's like the storytelling art. Do you know the book I'm thinking of, where like the monster in the sea?
I do.
It's a beautiful illustrated.
Showed it to us.
Yeah, and I think it's like it's got some of that vibe, where like a really far north, a cautionary tale in that artwork there. So it's really cool.
Are we getting the head now?
I'm getting ready for it. Rob, what a funny guy to do it in this order.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody paint shirt first, but I love it. I'm here for the guessing element.
And it's totally monochromatic, right? We're dealing with a black and white and gray piece right now.
At this point, Rob
It's
really
not
likes
his style.
the-
He's got because I have a Rob Nicholson piece in the next room actually, and I don't even think it has any black on it. It's
Rob. He's keeping us guessing for this round for sure. His qualifying round piece was an absolute collision of color. So interesting to see him go into that monochrome now, and with 18 minutes left on the clock, will we get a sense of color within that?
I bet we get some pops of color. I mean, he knows he needs to pull out all the stops. It's the Ottawa Championships. It's one of the highest ranked art battles in the world. So monochromatic is exciting, but I bet you we see some color pops towards the end.
Some very satisfying fur establishment happening from Alexander here, and he has a few tape lines down as well, so that he's painting over. So I'm looking forward to that super good reveal.
Excellent. I like about this. It's almost got because with the tape line especially, like there's almost a crest aspect of this going on, like a lion crest thing. And I think that's fun. I can't wait to see those clean lines, and if there's any other element that is going to be, in the background. Ooh, speaking of backgrounds,
right? This is one of our favorites.
Oh my God! Look at
We
this
love the frame
border.
within a frame.
The frame within a frame is so good, and this is not tape. This is just free drawn frame within a frame. But this bubble effect around the figure in the frame, I am super digging it. You screw that up a little bit and you are in trouble. And so far, she has completely nailed it. This is an exciting piece.
And it really just adds to the sense of flow and design within this piece.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of flow, checking out all of the flowing hair in the water here.
So interesting. So the eyes are going to be what this piece is all about in the end, because everything is pointing to the eyes. The nose is hidden. Oh, is it going to be eyes closed? Eyes closed.
I think so.
Yeah, they're still very good eyes. Eyes closed. That's a whole. That's one way around it.
And I just love watching Sarah vibe too.
Yeah, she's got her own music in. The music in the venue is good, but it's nice to be guaranteed what you're going to get.
Yeah, it helps the artists get lost in the flow.
15 minutes remaining, 10 minutes, halfway. So this is 15 minutes gone, 15 minutes remaining in this final round.
Very, very exciting. So one artist from these four will be moving forward to the Nationals, representing Ottawa, one of our longest established art battle communities in Canada.
I think, could this be a spaceman? I'm getting a tiny bit of a space vibe here. I don't think so. I'm always thinking about space. That is a belly button. That's so funny.
Is it a belly button?
I think it's a belly button.
I don't know. I am seeing. I feel like this is going to be a portrait. I think that's a pocket.
Could be.
I think it's a sweater pocket.
A lot of attention for a sweater pocket, but anyway, it's great.
Yeah.
We will see.
Alexander's doing a really great job at capturing the regality of a lion. It can be difficult to capture a lion's presence and translate that through paint, but he's definitely getting that kind of king of animals vibe going.
I think the eyes are really, really nice here. Obviously, the mouth and nose connection is great, but I think the eyes. There's something about like the closed eyes, looking off in the distance. This lion, very cool.
And the angularity of the eyes too, like they're narrowed. They're really concentrated. So satisfying watching this come together. And
oh my god, I love the fact. Sorry to interrupt. The background is a multicolored background. It's we got the blue and then a little bit of a lighter blue there, and there's something about that brings it alive for me. Oh man.
Oh, you're so right. I just noticed that. Yeah, it's like it creates a level of depth.
Right, exactly. It's like it's not just a design piece. It's bringing it a little bit back into the real. I mean, obviously, it's very design heavy a piece, but there's something that's sort of real about it because of that variation.
Oh, glowing eyes. Cool.
Reflected in the water. Nice.
Very, very cool. This piece is so intense.
I think it's that monster.
We'll have to ask Sarah about the lore behind this piece. I also want to say she has a really epic apron, paint apron also. I'm definitely a little bit jealous. Moving back over to Rob. Yeah, I think it's a hooded jacket, and I think that we've got like the ghost of the head and flowing hair behind. It might be a little bit difficult for you to see that on your screen.
Oh, you're right. I wanted it to be a belly button. I don't know why, but that is just what it is the level of detail and in the shading here. I mean, with all those creases, and I mean, this is an incredibly detailed work, especially for how short a time it is. And he's of course being very strategic about this. When the head does come on there, because I think it has to, I think that's really going to get the audience excited because they knew where it was going, and there's going to be a bit of an aha moment.
Oh, definitely. And yeah, I think that collectively there's going to be a level of satisfaction with the completion of that piece. Everyone, he's built it in such a way that there's elements of reveal, and that feels very participatory for the audience.
Exactly.
Speaking of participatory for the audience, I want to see this tape pull.
Yeah, I hope we get to do it. Tape pulling's the best. We should just have a tape pulling round. Everybody must use at least 3 meters of tape.
Oh my goodness. If Chris is watching this, he absolutely will approve that.
Amazing.
Must use masking tape.
Yeah. Oof. This is going to be a hard painting to beat. It's so colorful. It's Pride Month. You know, there's a rainbow there. Everybody loves the rainbow in Pride Month. The fact of her performance, her hair, her outfit matching the piece. You know, it's designy, but it's very slickly executed, and of course, all that neck, ear, mouth stuff we were talking about earlier. I'd say this is the piece to beat. That may happen, but that's what I'm thinking.
It's pretty incredible, especially it's like emanating this warmth and joy, which is difficult to do when there isn't eye contact. And the rainbow, the way that she's executed the rainbow is really cool. It's very flowy and doesn't feel hokey. Like, it doesn't feel like she's painting a rainbow to paint a rainbow. It feels like it's meant to be that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think she wishes her hair looked like that. She's already gone down that path, and I mean, who doesn't want perfect rainbow hair? Ooh, the eye glow reflection here is so good.
It's totally mesmerizing. You get really, really sucked into this piece, and especially the way that she's established the reflection and broken it up in these little waves.
I really like the drips that she's painting over right now. I was into those drips. Well, that's okay though.
I'm wondering whether or not Sarah's going to bring in any warmer elements of color into the piece, because that's kind of been her signature move in previous events, where she'll use mostly one color, a cool color or a warm color, and then she'll introduce the contrast to it. And speaking of contrasts, here's our color pop.
There we go. Oh, the hair, right?
So nice.
Okay. So this figure is bringing up the sweater to cover their face. It's like a cold scene. What's going on here?
Or mittens.
Mittens and a scarf, or like a hoodie thing.
Oh, and now Rob is adding more colors into the hair. It's a rainbow hair showdown.
Rainbow hair showdown. And the lion has a bit of rainbow hair too.
Very, very cool. Yeah, this whole round is all about the hair. We've got the lion's mane.
That's so funny.
Wow.
And none of them know. I love that aspect of it. Used to be way back. The artists were beside each other and they could look over and glance and see, oh, that's what they're doing. But none of these artists have any idea that they're all painting hair right now.
And how interconnected all of these pieces are.
Yeah.
Wow. Alex is just absolutely slayed capturing the texture of this.
Yeah. That lion face keeps getting better and better. Not only, like earlier I was saying I already like the eyes, but now we're getting some pretty serious detail in those, like, you know, we're not just the shape of the eyes, but the actual eyeballs themselves are coming in. Wow.
Completely epic. And those possible highlight as well.
Do you think the white in the background here, is that just canvas or was that white paint? I'm seeing a little bit of color there, but I don't know if that's from the lighting.
That's just the lighting. I think that is canvas. I think that she's using that to the negative space of the canvas for her advantage. Oh my goodness. Everyone, look at the highlight. Gaze upon the highlight that is happening on the cheek right now. Oh my gosh. I was so happy with that singular brush stroke of that white line. I just wanted to move our hand so we can see it again.
Oh, we'll have to see it next. Great.
I love when we get a chance to see those moments.
We need an instant replay button.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's our contrast. We have this warm color being used in the eyes, and now she's using it in a subtle way to bring warmth to the rest of the canvas via the stars.
Mm.
We've got all of these glowing orbs just dispersed throughout the canvas now, and it's definitely, especially if she's filling in all of those with yellow, it's definitely sprinkling in some needed warmth throughout the canvas.
Yeah, and she's done a really good job of sort of going back over her initial design, and it looks much more polished than it had at certain points. I'm not saying polished that previously it was negative, but it really looked like a painting before, and it's coming into to its sort of final form.
Yeah, there's definitely elements of rendering that are really being achieved at this point.
Well, Rob has gone an interesting direction with this. We did get our color pop. It is the detail on the waves and the hoodie with those creases and all that are fantastic. I still think he has a bit of a way to go in only 4 minutes to bring this hair to the level of the hair of the other pieces. And even, I think, for my eye, I think he needs a little bit more attention on that face as well. But he's quite a talented artist, and he does have 5 minutes. So let's see what happens.
Oh, and he heard you. He's going
He
into
heard
the
me.
face right now.
Back to the face. He's like, "Oh, good call, Simon."
I'm just noticing the teeth coming up from the bottom jaw of this lion here. So impactful.
A really good lion, and that tape hole is going to be so good.
And we have seen a lot of lion paintings at Art Battle. I'm not gonna lie. We've seen a lot of
we've seen more skull paintings than lions, but not a lot more.
Yeah. And I would say that this is the best executed lion painting that I've seen, for sure. There's
now, animals are tough because of all that hair. You know, I'd say they're even harder than human portraits.
I would absolutely say that animals are more difficult than people.
Yeah.
Even just from a proportional standpoint, you know, it's
totally
unfamiliar parameters.
And the depth, you know, and all the different angles on them. That's tough, and that is a very good line. So I think the audience will be excited about that.
When we have this cool addition of like galaxy rings around our character now. And I'm getting the starscape that I desired. Really just incredible work from Kina. The highlight, even just on the crest of the ear, is so thoughtful.
All right.
So we have 2 minutes only left on the clock. These guys have been painting for 28 minutes, and they have made use of every single second. And this is one of the most satisfying times within the round where we get to see everything just really tighten up with all of those details. Sarah has just done such an incredible job capturing the glow of her creature. Even when we're looking at this piece, you can also see that the yellow light is on the cheeks, is falling onto the cheeks as well. So it's really these thoughtful details that bring Sarah up to this championship level. I can definitely feel the wind within the hair on Rob's piece here.
Yes, it's a very, very good painting. some really incredible technical work here. I can't wait to see how the audience votes on this. Speaking of which, voting is open, of course. If you're with us here, you can head over to artbattle.com/AB2563, and that will let you register to vote. You can also use the app, but the direct link is probably the easiest. And we're going to be picking the winner and who will be heading to the national championships in Toronto.
So exciting.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Round number 3. Who will it be? From what I've seen, every one of these pieces is absolutely fierce. You should receive that message that it's time to vote, time to bid. Now, this isn't like some kind of Canadian federal election or anything like that. So it's okay to vote. Make a choice or one will be made for you. Only one can move on to the Toronto National Championships next month. It's up to you, Ottawa, to choose your champion. So let's get those votes in. And we'll be right back with your winner.
Alright. You gotta get under because of the camera.
Wow, what an incredible final round for the Art Battle Ottawa Championships. One artist from this round will move forward to the 2023 Canadian National Championships taking place on July 27th in Toronto. And voting is now open at artbattle.com/AB2563, the link that is at the bottom of your screen. Help us choose our Ottawa champion. Simon, any final thoughts from this round?
I think all of the artists have done a fantastic job, and we would be well served to have any of them represent us, represent Ottawa in Toronto. Thrilled to have them. Thanks so much to all the artists, and thanks to you for watching with us.
Oh my goodness. The highlight on the cheek is everything for me.
Yeah, well, I really like that like space wrapping on her shoulders. That's such a good painting.
So cool. It is definitely going to be a very tough call for the crowd and for everyone watching online right now to decide which of these pieces deserves to take that artist to the championship. But we will be back with our winner announcement very shortly. And also, I want to point out, if you are falling in love with any of these pieces and you would like to collect them, you can bid in our silent auction at artbattle.com/AB2563, the same link at the bottom of your screen. And right now we're actually checking out our 2022 national champion, who is painting the exhibition painting right now. And we can see his big trophy hanging out by the painting. And I love that he's brought that. That's such a great touch. That is Alan Andre. Back with our winner announcement in just a few minutes.
this last one for the first time, and as cheesy as it is, if I say over, you say flow. Over. When I say I fucked that up already. When I say art, you say battle. Art. Yeah. All right. I'm in a giving mood. So let's hope the person's still here. A few times we've gotten stuck like drawing like about 10 friggin' names before. Okay, we need somebody with lucky hands. I think we always have like a bunch of doctors that come here, like chicken scratch. All right, I'm gonna say E. Kevlin. E. Kevlin, congratulations. You have won tonight's prize back from Overflow Brewery. You can just see the lovely Rebecca at the front, and she'll give that to you. I believe it's probably a few beers in there. Don't let me catch you in the parking lot swilling those back all at once, all right? All right. Sadly, normally we give away a bunch of tickets for next month, but there is no next month. We'll be taking the summer off after this, but we will be back in September, so I hope you join us once again. In the meantime, while we tabulate these votes, can we get a big round of applause for tonight's DJ Little Fever? And we'll be right back with your winner.
Please bear with us as we deal with some camera issues. We should hopefully be back for the winner announcement. If we are not, I will be sure to share who our winning artist is. But in the meantime, do your best to please stay tuned. Our winner announcement happening in just a few short minutes.
can we get a big round of applause for all of the artists tonight? And let's keep that going for the wonderful people here at Overflow Brewery, please. And for the national champ, Alan Andre. Once again for tonight's DJ Little Fever. Not used to a mic stand. I suck at it. Like getting caught up in the chords and causing feedback. It's been an incredible season thanks to Ottawa. You know, like I said earlier, we may not be the biggest city, but man, we got a lot of heart. We show a lot of support. How about a round of applause for you? Eh? All right, so the time has come. Who will be moving on to the national championships?
Eric and Michaela bought yours.
None other than Rob Nicholson! Congratulations. One of the hardest working dudes I know. You can check him out online. He also does paint nights. So you want to learn from the master, he's the guy to do it. And yeah, so that's just about it, you know? So if you bid and won a piece tonight, you should receive a message shortly. Please take the work home tonight, because I live in Pembroke and it's really hard for me to deliver it.
Probably
So I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a good and loving home. And, What? Yes, so you will get a message saying that congratulations, you won and you're freaking awesome for supporting the artist. And yeah, so then all you have to do is show the lovely ladies at the front desk and they will gather.
All right, our winner of the Art Battle Ottawa City Championship has been announced. A massive congratulations to Rob Nicholson, a longtime Art Battle Ottawa painter, and he will be headed to Toronto for the National Championship on July 27th. So massive congratulations to Rob. We cannot wait to see you paint at Nationals. Two absolutely phenomenally executed pieces. We are so lucky to have you, just as we are so lucky to have witnessed all 12 of our artists painting up at the easels tonight. The creativity and courage that you bring to the easel and also to the Art Battle Ottawa community is so appreciated. And thank you so much to everyone that joined us on the stream tonight to check out the action. We will be back on Saturday for Art Battle in London, UK. So be sure to stay tuned and see more Art Battle goodness. Once again, Art Battle Toronto will be hosting the National Championships on July 27th. If you're interested in attending,